Testosterone isn't just a hormone. It's rhythm, confidence, and life force. It fuels your energy, your mood, your strength, your drive. And yet, for millions of men after 30, it begins to fade quietly, long before they realize it. Modern life drains it. Too much stress, poor sleep, processed food, constant stimulation. The body, always adapting, starts to shift resources from building to surviving. But the truth is that you don't need injections or extremes to support it. The foundation lies in your blood chemistry, and that chemistry listens to what you eat. Certain foods, real, whole, unprocessed, can literally feed your testosterone system, nourishing the glands, the enzymes, and the balance that keep it alive. The secret isn't exotic supplements or quick fixes. It's understanding how the body uses nutrients to keep this masculine rhythm in tune. When testosterone is low, you feel it long before a blood test shows it. Fatigue replaces focus. Sleep becomes shallow. Motivation feels forced. Strength training stops giving results. Even mood, that quiet steadiness you used to carry, begins to slip. And yet these changes are not signs of aging. They are signals of depletion. The body still wants to produce testosterone, but it needs the raw materials and environment to do it. It's not about increasing production artificially. It's about removing the blocks and giving your cells what they need to perform. There are 3 foods that stand out above the rest. Not superfoods in the marketing sense, but compounds nature built for this exact process. Each one supports a specific stage of testosterone metabolism: creation, conversion, and protection. They work quietly through minerals, fats, and anti-inflammatory properties. When you combine them, you don't just increase a number. You restore the biological confidence your body once had. The first is eggs, specifically whole eggs, yolk and all. For decades, people feared cholesterol, believing it clogged arteries and caused disease. But cholesterol is not the villain. It's the building block of every steroid hormone, including testosterone. Without it, your body simply cannot make enough of the hormone that drives vitality. The yolk also contains vitamin D, zinc, and choline, 3 of the most critical nutrients for hormonal health. Vitamin D acts like a hormone itself, signaling the testes to produce more testosterone. Zinc supports the enzyme 17-VHSD, which converts cholesterol into testosterone. And choline strengthens liver function, ensuring that your body metabolizes fats efficiently. Together, they create the foundation of male chemistry. That's why men who return to whole eggs after years of eating only whites often feel stronger, more focused, and more balanced within weeks. It's not psychological. It's biochemical. The second is fatty fish: salmon, sardines, or mackerel. The kind of fish rich in omega-3 fatty acids. These fats don't just protect the heart. They protect hormones. Omega-3s reduce inflammation at the cellular level, allowing Leydig cells in the testes to function properly. Chronic inflammation is one of the biggest hidden destroyers of testosterone because it increases cortisol, and cortisol competes with testosterone for the same building blocks. When inflammation falls, cortisol drops, and testosterone synthesis accelerates naturally. Omega-3s also improve the fluidity of cell membranes, making hormone receptors more responsive. That means your body doesn't just produce more testosterone, it uses it better. And that's where real change happens. Not in total numbers, but in sensitivity. Eating fatty fish 2 or 3 times a week gives your body what synthetic supplements can't: living fat molecules that restore natural chemistry. The third is dark leafy greens: spinach, kale, chard, arugula. They might not seem masculine, but they are powerful chemical allies. Leafy greens are rich in magnesium and nitrates, both of which play key roles in hormonal balance and blood flow. Magnesium increases free testosterone by binding to the protein SHBG, which normally holds testosterone in an inactive state. By reducing SHBG's grip, magnesium frees up more active hormone to circulate. At the same time, the natural nitrates in greens convert into nitric oxide, relaxing blood vessels and improving circulation, not only for athletic performance, but for reproductive health as well. Good blood flow means good oxygen delivery, and oxygen is essential for hormone production. Men who eat greens daily often notice stronger workouts, better recovery, and even improved sleep. All signs that testosterone metabolism is running efficiently again. These 3 foods, eggs, fish, and greens, sound simple, but the science behind them is profound. Together, they create a biochemical triangle. Cholesterol from eggs feeds hormone creation. Anti-inflammatory fats from fish protect the process, and minerals from greens activate it. It's not just diet, it's engineering. When you eat like this consistently, your body starts producing more testosterone quietly, naturally, without chaos. The effect of these foods doesn't stop at hormones. They influence the systems that depend on testosterone: the nervous system, metabolism, and recovery cycles. When testosterone rises naturally, sleep deepens. Your body produces more melatonin and growth hormone at night, which further amplifies regeneration. Muscle fibers repair faster. Fat distribution changes subtly. Less around the waist, more lean mass. Even your skin tone and posture shift. These aren't superficial changes. They're the visible signs of internal balance returning. What most people don't realize is that testosterone isn't isolated. It's part of a network that includes insulin, cortisol, and thyroid hormones. Sugar spikes, chronic stress, and poor thyroid function all lower testosterone indirectly. The foods that support testosterone also help balance those systems. For instance, omega-3 fats improve insulin sensitivity. Greens support thyroid conversion through magnesium, and eggs stabilize cortisol through nutrient density. That's why real transformation doesn't come from one magic ingredient, but from synergy. Everything supporting everything else. When you begin eating this way, the first week feels subtle. You might notice steadier energy, fewer cravings, deeper sleep. By the second or third week, focus sharpens, recovery improves, and you start waking up with energy you thought was gone. These shifts are not temporary boosts. They're signs of chemistry realigning. The body is relearning how to regulate itself. It's not stimulated, it's restored. Another crucial piece of this puzzle is how these foods interact with stress. Chronic stress raises cortisol, which directly lowers testosterone by blocking luteinizing hormone signals. When you nourish your body with nutrient-dense foods, cortisol falls naturally because the body no longer feels in survival mode. Stable blood sugar from protein and fat keeps adrenaline balanced. Magnesium from greens relaxes the nervous system. Omega-3s lower inflammatory cytokines. The result? You move through your day calm, alert, and powerful. The true state of male physiology. It's also important to mention that testosterone thrives in rhythm. It follows a daily pattern, peaking in the morning and tapering toward evening. Eating your most nutrient-rich meals earlier in the day supports that rhythm. When you eat late at night or rely on processed snacks, you disrupt it. The same is true for light exposure. Sunlight in the morning increases both vitamin D and testosterone production. Combine natural light, movement, and these foods, and you create a loop of energy that feeds itself. As this new nutrition pattern settles in, your metabolism begins to run smoother. Cholesterol levels often balance naturally because the body is using it properly again. HDL, the good cholesterol, rises and triglycerides fall. That's not coincidence. It's metabolism working with, not against, you. The liver, which processes these nutrients, becomes more efficient. Your blood becomes cleaner, less viscous, more oxygenated. The brain receives steady fuel from omega-3s, and mood improves. You stop reacting emotionally to small frustrations. Patience, clarity, and focus return, all quiet byproducts of hormonal balance. The most surprising part of this transformation isn't the physical strength or energy. It's the sense of calm that comes with it. High testosterone isn't aggression, that's a myth. True testosterone balance feels like grounded confidence. You move slower, but with purpose. You speak with certainty, not volume. Your energy doesn't leak into anxiety or irritation. You carry it like heat, steady, quiet, unbreakable. By the time you've consistently eaten this way for a month, your body begins to show long-term adaptations. Your muscle tone improves without extra effort. Recovery from training shortens. Sleep becomes deeper and more restorative. And perhaps most importantly, your drive, both mental and physical, reignites. That spark you thought was gone wasn't lost. It was buried under imbalance. The foods you choose each day dig it back up. In the next part, we'll go deeper into how these nutrients actually work inside the body, how they influence enzymes, circulation, brain chemistry, and longevity. Because supporting testosterone isn't about chasing youth. It's about maintaining rhythm, balance, and power for life. Once you begin feeding your body the right materials, the effects of those 3 foods go far beyond the bloodstream. What starts as nutrition becomes communication, a conversation between what you eat and what your biology remembers. The body has always known how to produce testosterone. It just needs the proper signals to do it. The deeper you understand those signals, the clearer it becomes why these nutrients work so effectively, especially after 40, when every small imbalance begins to echo louder through the system. When you eat whole eggs, you're not simply adding cholesterol and protein, you're supplying the raw substrate for hormone synthesis and neurotransmitter formation. Cholesterol is converted in the testes into pregnenolone, the first molecule in the steroid hormone chain. From there, it becomes testosterone, cortisol, or estrogen depending on what your body needs. In a stressed, nutrient-depleted state, the body prioritizes cortisol production for survival. But when nutrition is balanced, it has the resources to maintain both calm and strength. The B vitamins and choline in eggs help your liver process fats efficiently, ensuring cholesterol is used constructively, not stored destructively. That's why the same cholesterol that can clog arteries in a damaged system can build hormones in a healthy one. It's context, not content, that determines the outcome. The fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K in yolks further stabilize hormonal communication by supporting receptor health and reducing oxidative damage. This quiet repair of cellular machinery translates into smoother signaling across the entire endocrine network. At the same time, omega-3s from fatty fish are working at a cellular level, reshaping membranes and calming inflammation that silently interferes with hormone activity. Each cell in your body is surrounded by a lipid membrane that determines what enters and exits. When those membranes are built from processed fats and omega-6 oils, they become stiff, less responsive, and more prone to inflammation. Omega-3s, particularly EPA and DHA, restore flexibility. They make the cell more permeable, allowing hormones and nutrients to interact efficiently. DHA also supports brain cell structure, improving mood and focus, two of the first areas affected when testosterone drops. Inflammation in the brain blunts motivation, distorts dopamine balance, and amplifies fatigue. Once you lower that inflammation through omega-3s, mental energy returns. This is why people who eat fatty fish regularly often describe feeling both calmer and more driven. Their brain chemistry stabilizes, allowing focus without anxiety. Magnesium and nitrates from dark leafy greens enter the story as silent regulators. Magnesium acts as the body's natural switch between stress and relaxation, energy and rest. It binds to receptors that calm the nervous system, lowers blood pressure, and helps muscles recover. But its most important role in testosterone support is freeing the hormone from SHBG, the binding protein that locks it away. Imagine testosterone as electricity and SHBG as insulation. Magnesium strips some of that insulation away so the current can flow again. At the same time, dietary nitrates turn into nitric oxide in your bloodstream, opening arteries, improving oxygen delivery, and enhancing nutrient transport. That means every other nutrient, from the zinc in eggs to the omega-3s in fish, reaches your tissues more effectively. It's all connected. The better your circulation, the better your hormones perform. But the power of these foods isn't just what they contain, it's what they displace. Every time you eat real food, you push out processed oils, refined carbs, and artificial additives that disrupt hormones. Vegetable oils, for example, oxidize easily and create inflammation that damages Leydig cells, the ones responsible for testosterone production. Processed sugars spike insulin, and high insulin suppresses luteinizing hormone, the signal that tells your testes to produce testosterone. By replacing these with natural fats, protein, and greens, you're not just adding nutrients, you're removing interference. The body doesn't need to fight anymore. After a few weeks of consistency, something subtle but powerful happens. Your body composition begins to shift. You start burning fat even at rest, because insulin and cortisol have quieted down. Testosterone directs nutrients toward muscle repair instead of fat storage. Strength training becomes more effective, not because you're lifting heavier, but because your body is finally ready to respond. Recovery between workouts shortens, sleep deepens. The synergy between testosterone and growth hormone, two partners in regeneration, strengthens each night you rest. Your metabolism, once sluggish, becomes efficient again. Inside your bloodstream, red blood cell production increases slightly, improving oxygen transport. This is one of testosterone's lesser-known effects. It enhances erythropoiesis, giving your blood more carrying capacity. That's why you start feeling endurance return, not as jittery energy but as calm stamina. You can think, move, and focus longer without crashing. It's not stimulation. It's oxygenation. Meanwhile, the brain responds to this new hormonal rhythm. Testosterone interacts directly with dopamine, the neurotransmitter of motivation and purpose. When testosterone rises naturally, dopamine signaling becomes more efficient. Tasks feel less forced. Discipline feels lighter, and your sense of drive sharpens. This doesn't just affect productivity. It shapes your perception of effort itself. You stop avoiding challenges because your brain chemistry finally matches your ambition. That's what people mean when they talk about feeling like themselves again. The cardiovascular benefits deepen as well. Nitric oxide from greens, combined with omega-3-induced vessel flexibility, enhances blood flow throughout the body. This improved circulation affects everything: heart function, brain clarity, sexual health. Testosterone itself depends on strong vascular supply to the testes. So the more efficient your circulation, the stronger the signal for production. It's a feedback loop. Good blood flow builds testosterone, and testosterone improves blood flow. That's why lifestyle and nutrition work better together than any synthetic approach ever can. After several months, inflammation markers such as CRP drop, blood lipids improve, and fasting glucose stabilizes. Your body starts resembling a younger version of itself, not because of age reversal, but because it's functioning as it was designed to. Even mood follows suit. Serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, the three major mood-regulating neurotransmitters, depend on amino acids and healthy fats. By providing those through eggs, fish, and greens, you nourish both body and mind. Anxiety decreases, sleep becomes peaceful, and focus lengthens. At the cellular level, mitochondria, your energy factories, respond strongly to this shift. Omega-3s and magnesium enhance mitochondrial membrane potential, allowing cells to produce ATP more efficiently. Testosterone itself increases mitochondrial biogenesis, meaning your body builds more of these powerhouses. The result is endurance, physical, mental, and emotional. This is why natural testosterone support never feels like a jolt. It feels like steady strength from within. The longer you maintain these habits, the more resilient your system becomes. The endocrine network stabilizes. Hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenals, and testes start communicating cleanly again. Hormones rise and fall in rhythm, not chaos. The stress response becomes smoother. Your body handles pressure without overreacting. You stop burning out from daily tasks. It's a physiological version of confidence, the kind that doesn't need proving. This isn't theory. Blood tests confirm it. Higher free testosterone, lower SHBG, reduced inflammation, improved lipid profile. But even without numbers, you know it's working. You wake up rested, warm, and ready. Your mood is grounded, your focus sharp, and your strength feels natural again. You don't feel like you're chasing energy anymore. You're generating it. After several months, even longevity markers improve. Lower inflammation means slower aging. Better mitochondrial efficiency means more vitality per heartbeat. Improved blood flow means stronger heart and brain health. You're not just supporting testosterone. You're supporting every system it touches. That's the quiet miracle of aligning with your biology. Everything rises together. Eventually, these foods stop feeling like a protocol. They become a way of living. Simple, grounded, effortless. Breakfast becomes eggs with greens, lunch something rich in protein and good fats, dinner lighter, cleaner. It doesn't feel like discipline anymore, because your body now craves what serves it. Cravings for sugar, alcohol, or processed food fade naturally. The nervous system has stabilized, and your taste for calm has replaced your appetite for stimulation. And perhaps the greatest change of all is mental. When your hormones, energy, and focus align, you stop feeling at war with yourself. You stop searching for fixes or motivation because the system works as intended. Testosterone, in its natural balance, isn't aggression or dominance. It's direction. It gives you the ability to move forward with certainty, to lead without force, to work without burnout. That's real masculinity, chemistry in harmony with purpose. So as weeks turn into months, remember that this transformation didn't come from something you added. It came from something you allowed. You gave your body what it had been asking for all along: real food, rest, and rhythm. The eggs built the foundation, the fish protected it, and the greens kept it flowing. Together, they don't just support testosterone. They rebuild the language between your body and your mind. And one day, without noticing, you'll look in the mirror and realize it's not that you've become someone new. It's that you've returned to who you were meant to be.